All right, all right. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Just gonna make sure that the sound and the audio is working. Everybody hear me. We was having a couple of hiccups just a second ago, but we got it all worked out, I think. I'm gonna make sure that folks are able to come on in live and then we're gonna get started. I hope you're doing good on this beautiful Tuesday. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a bit euphoric, if you will. Well, I'm sorry. I shouldn't actually make jokes right now because the topic is serious. So let me not do that. My apologies. All right, all right. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Get this screen up there real quick. All right. Peace, 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 peace. I appreciate everybody coming on in. Let me get started. Let's see. That ain't it. What are we doing? There we go. I'll put that back for a second. All right. All right. We good? Hear me clear? All right. Cool. Peace, 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 peace. I'm Rami, the Moorish American. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Uh, we have an unfortunate breaking news live discussion today. Moorish Sovereign citizen that was unfortunately in a fatal shootout with 6 Florida sheriffs, 6 Florida police officers. We are going to, and this happened a few days ago. We are going to get into the article in just a moment. It's important that I report on this for a couple of reasons, but especially for Moors out there. I want you to understand this is a warning. True Moorish Americans, as we go through this, I want you to listen clearly, listen carefully, um, take a step back, and make sure you distinguish yourself from individuals that are acting this way, because this is serious and it's not nothing to play with. It's not some internet game. It's not something that you should just try and see if it's going to work, um, because it's a very real thing. Without further, and if you have any questions as we go through this, drop them in the comment section or drop them in the chat. We'll discuss it. Hopefully by the end of this, we'll be more informed. And for those that aren't Moors, that aren't Moorish Americans, they'll have a better understanding and the distinction between the two. All right, get to the screen. Let's see. Here we go. We are checking out an article from KSWB TV San Diego. Can I get this off the screen? There we go. The Florida sheriff details shooting that left suspect dead, 2 deputies hurt. This happened in Winter Haven, Florida. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd gave an update Monday on a deputy-involved shooting that left a suspect dead and 2 deputies injured. Judd identified the suspect as a Moorish Sovereign citizen who went by the name K-Mac L. Bay. His birth name on his California driver's license is Kyran Capos. Further goes on to say, recently, Moorish sovereign citizens have engaged in violent confrontations with law enforcement. And the movement began in the early 1990s. That's something that's important to note. The Moorish sovereign citizen movement, in this article, it states it began in the early 1990s. Um, I'll get a little more into the specifics of that later, but just for clarification, Noble Drew Ali established and created the Moorish Science Temple of America, which is a lawful, law-abiding organization, group of American citizens. And he created that in 1926, officially, or 27. Let me continue reading. We'll get to the distinction later. Deputies found El Bay in a car at a park and tried to approach him. The man wouldn't cooperate with deputies. Deputies grabbed the window when the car started rolling, and El Bay fired 5 shots. Judge said Lieutenant Chad Anderson was shot in the arm. The bullet became lodged near his heart. Anderson was fractions of an inch away from being paralyzed or killed. And that officer is now, that lieutenant is now, Lieutenant Anderson is now in critical but stable condition. The other deputy, Craig Smith, was shot twice in the arm. He was in critical condition but has been upgraded to a different floor. The deputies found 3 guns in the car, including the one used to shoot at the deputies, and another that was a Ruger 1022 converted into an AR-15. Judge said that modification is legal. They're unsure where the guns came from because Florida law doesn't require guns to be registered. Judge noted that the guns were not listed as stolen, and El Bay was not a convicted felon, had a right to own the guns. Fair. El Bay was hit 8 times when the deputies returned fire. The deputies fired 38 shots, Judge said. El Bay had a suspended driver's license but no criminal history. Judge said law enforcement occasionally runs into more sovereign citizens, frequently at traffic stops. He said that had El Bay cooperated, he likely would have just been given a ride home, probably not even cited. He was not a problem until he made himself a problem, Judge said. The deputies who were shot are expected to be recovering for several months. The suspect's mother wants to fly out and visit the deputies so she can apologize for her son shooting them. Judge said the suspect's mother is a wonderful lady and totally in shock. The sheriff said El Bay had become more radicalized over the last 3 years. Man, that's heavy. Alaikum salam, good brother. Pardon me, y'all. That was my first time reading that article. That was a more recent article. I was not. It took me off guard. I'm not gonna hold you, man. Matter of fact, let's see. Let me get this together. All right, so that was a summary of the article. I'm actually gonna get together some footage from Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd to give an update on the situation. But before I do, I think I want to take a second first to say condolences to K-Mac El Bay's family and mother and loved ones. Speedy recovery to the 2 officers that were unfortunately shot and injured in this. And I think, I'm going to continue and I'm going to get into some specifics on the difference between Moorish Americans and Moorish sovereign citizens or Moorish rogue organizations. But all of that aside, I think what's most important is I hope that if you're watching this, especially if you're a Moorish American, I hope that you understand the severity uh, that comes with certain actions and the consequences that can come with certain actions, and that it won't just affect you, but it'll affect your loved ones as well. You know, your mom, your dad, sister, brother, auntie, uncle, nephew, niece, friend. Somebody out there loves you. You know, uh, we really have to, Moorish Americans out there, we really have to distinguish ourselves and show that we are American citizens like any other person, and make sure that we convey the right principles and messages, because there's too many people that are getting caught up in the radical nonsense, and it's impacting real people's lives. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, yeah. So let me let me play this update from the sheriff. I mean, yeah, from the sheriff here, and let's watch some of that, and then I'll go ahead and answer any questions, and then close up and make some distinctions just for the people, just so to clarify again, because uh, in one of the initial clips, when the sheriff, brother Judd, Sheriff Judd, when he was speaking about Moors, he unfortunately lumped in all he lumped in Moorish Americans with these Moorish sovereign citizen groups and individuals, or Moorish rogue Moorish organizations, and it's making things very dangerous for people that are actually abiding by the law and simply want to identify the way we choose to identify ourselves. And I know that it's confusing. So, Moorish Americans, please understand, we have to do a better job at showing who we are and showing what a Moorish American, and demonstrating what a Moorish American is the right way, according to the teachings that Noble Drew Ali laid out for us, using the principles. All right, let me get to this clip. Sorry about that. This is here. Yeah, I think this is right here. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So let's get started.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with me today. We're going to go over this entire event and then bring you up to speed with what we know now that certainly we didn't have the details of the other night.
Before I let it continue, I just want to put this out there. I should have put it out there in the beginning. Um, this whole situation is unfortunate. It's not any. It's all bad. The officers that were shot were affected. The officers that shot the young man were affected. Their families were affected. The people that work with them, they're affected. The community. So this is not a good thing. But I do want to make sure that we show respect. Respect to brothers and sisters who are in law enforcement and are working and striving to do the right thing, uh, because it's not an easy job. Uh, all are your personal beliefs or gripes with the system, and I get that. All of that aside, it's still real human beings that are doing this work, and we need to make sure that we show a certain level of respect and empathy, because they are our brothers and sisters at the end of the day. But let me continue.
First and foremost, I want to introduce you to two heroes. This is Lieutenant Chad Anderson and Deputy Craig Smith. They both went to back up Deputy Conover, and this occurred on Saturday morning about 12:22 in the Hunt Fountain Park on Duff Road in North Lakeland. Deputy Conover was working the area because we had some burglaries in the area. Gangbangers, kids, teenagers, flipped door handles, looking for cash, credit cards, and guns. And there had been some of those in the area. We also had a burglary of the concession stand at the park recently. So Deputy Conover was doing what she should when she saw a white Mercedes Benz in the parking lot. She checked on the person there, and the person just barely rolled the window down, talking to her when she asked, "Would you show me your driver's license? Tell me who you are." He wouldn't respond. He wouldn't get out of the car. He wouldn't cooperate.
I went directly to the city of San Jose and looked at all the quick permitting companies, and Abodu was.
She noticed that he was dressed all in white, as if he were in some kind of religious or cult garb. He certainly wasn't in normal street clothes. So she called for backup, and that's when Deputy Craig Smith, Lieutenant Anderson, who were both shot, as well as Deputy Bolito and his trainee. And we also had Natalie Ostrich, who is K9, back them up. So now there's a total with the trainees of 7 deputies there. So Craig Smith, Chad Anderson go to the door and say, "Hey, look, man." They tried to talk to him. You've got to identify yourself. You've got to come out and talk to us. And he wouldn't. And his car started rolling. They grabbed the window, and all of a sudden, he started shooting. We know now that he shot 5 times. We saw 5 empty casings. He struck Lieutenant Chad Anderson in the left arm. It went through the arm and into his chest cavity. The projectile lodged between his heart and his spinal column. He was fractions of an inch from either being paralyzed from the chest down or killed if it had have gone into his heart or struck any of those major arteries in that area. He went down, but he got 2 shots off before he went down. Craig Smith, the Deputy Smith, was not able to shoot because he was shot, and as I reported, there were 4 gunshot wounds in him. After clearly evaluating him and the medical procedures, he was shot twice. So what we were looking at was in and out holes. So he was shot twice in his right arm, and he went down. Deputy Bolito and our K9 deputy Ostrich returned shots. There was a gunfight. There were 38 shots fired. We hit the suspect 8 times, and he was immediately deceased. So now we rush everyone to the hospital. Lieutenant Chad Anderson has had 2 surgeries. He's still in critical but stable condition. Craig Smith, when he originally went in, was in critical but stable condition, and he has now been upgraded. Obviously, Lieutenant Anderson is still in intensive care, and Deputy Craig Smith has been upgraded and moved to a different floor. But I want to talk to you for just a minute about the suspect.
I just wanted to pause and just highlight, I didn't say it before, but I think it's important, especially for Moorish Americans, especially for Moors, and especially for those that have a disdain or dislike for law enforcement. you know, one of those officers was Moorish, Asiatic. Um, so, I just wanted to point that out because sometimes I hear the conversation from these rogue Moorish organizations or rogue Moorish groups. They'll throw out there, oh, the colonizer this and the modern European that, and this, that, and the third, and they don't have authority. Well, that was a brother that looked just like any other Moorish American. And unfortunately, uh, what is it? But K-Mac El Bay shot at that brother. You know what I mean? But let me continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Fact. And I want to show you what we found in his car. First, the firearm that he used to shoot my deputies and to shoot at the other deputies. It's a Springfield Arms XD 9mm. And in addition to being a loaded firearm, he also had 2 more loaded magazines in the door partition to his left. So he could have had a small gun battle with what he had alone. In the back seat, he had this is a Ruger 1022 converted to an AR-15. In a backpack, he had a fully loaded 40 millimeter firearm handgun. So let me introduce you to our suspect that tried to murder my deputies, did his best. This is K-Mac El Bay. He's 26. That's the name that he has taken on because you see, he identifies as Moorish. He uses the number 13, lion-hearted on his Florida driver's license. Beside his signature, he has written ARR, all rights reserved. He's currently homeless. He was evicted from a place in Hillsborough County. He has been moved.
Damn. Excuse my language. But the young man is 26 years old, man. I'm gonna just make a note that you heard the sheriff that he was using the term all rights reserved. All right. We're gonna speak about it later. I'm gonna continue. Yeah, I figure Joaquin Bay. Let me continue.
Moving around in Pinellas County. He was asked to leave a business area apparently last month. We talked to his mother. She said, I don't know this person. She said, I know Kyron Caples, Caples. Kyron Caples is my son. He went to Fresno State after 3 years of college and in studying business. He left. He apparently was radicalized while he was at Fresno State. She said, I raised him as a Christian boy. He was a good man. We found that he didn't have a criminal history. He had a suspended driver's license. So the person that his mother knew and loved, and she'd not seen him in 3 years since he left California, that's where she lives, until we got that fateful call, she had talked to him and had communicated with him and had on occasion sent him money when he needed help. But she says she doesn't know who this K-Mac El Bay is, but that's who he goes by now. Here's his identification card, his Moorish identification card. He's a sovereign citizen. The Moorish rejects federal, state, and local law. They don't have to obey it. They're extremist. They're anti-government. They have a potential for violence toward law enforcement. And I will hearken you back, and those of you who have been reporters around here for a while, remember in 2017, on the iPhone.
I'm gonna just pause. Well, actually, I'm gonna come back to this 837. I'm gonna come back to this section and we're gonna break it down. Let me let it finish. I'll follow.
Fourth quarter, 3 police officers were shot and killed. A sergeant with the Orlando Police Department, a sergeant with the Kissimmee Police Department, and on that same day, an officer with the Kissimmee Police Department. They were shot by 2 separate Moorish people, all in 2017. And now let's fast forward to 2024, and KMAC tried to murder 2 of my police officers. In addition to their violent activity, they're known for trying to file paperwork. For example, they have filed an arrest warrant for me in the Moorish world with a $1 million bond, as well as some of my other deputies. Not this person, but other Moorish people. We make frequent arrests of these citizens, these Moorish citizens, but we don't publish them because we don't want to market for them. But let me read something to you for just a second. This is an example. Now, here's his ID card, and this is a sample of a card that he had, so that when they want to hand it to you, he didn't, it would say, and you'll get the mindset, this is a valid and lawful form of identification. See United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, Articles 2 and 33, Section 1. You're being put on notice that any unlawful act against an indigenous Yahundum Moor is a federal crime, and you will be fined $750,000 or more. Any violation of my rights, well-being, or property is your express agreement to be held officially and privately liable for $750,000 for each violation of the bearer's rights in each capacity. If detaining the bearer, you also expressly agree to the fee schedule of $90,000 per hour. Upon any unlawful detainment and violation of the bearer's right, payment is due immediately in lawful money. So you get an idea of what we're dealing with when we're dealing with these Moorish sovereign citizens. They're dangerous.
Let me show you how we do stuff around here. Actually, my department uses Monday.com, so I'm good. Work man.
And you don't know when. There's been other occasions where they're not dangerous at all. They just file papers illegally. And if you'll hearken back to a few years ago, the Florida legislature had to create a new set of laws so that if they tried to go down and file liens against judges or clerks, that was a criminal event and they could be arrested. And there had to be a mechanism to easily clean those liens and legal paperwork out. We've talked to the mother twice of our suspect, at least twice. I call him, because this is his given name that he wants us to use, K-Mac Elbay. But for mom's benefit, we've talked to Kyron Cable's mom. She is a wonderful lady. She is totally in shock. And she said, as she's going to fly in at some point in time, she wants to meet with the deputies and apologize for her son shooting them. That's a good person. She understands the gravity of what occurred. Are there any questions?
I'm gonna go ahead and stop there. If you wanna, you can check out the full interview for the additional questions. Uh, oh shoot, I was supposed to go back. My apologies. I was supposed to go back to 8. What did I put? 8:30. I'm gonna go just back to 8 minutes because I wanted to highlight. It was something that he said right around this section. But before I do, man, for the Moorish Americans or just people out there that have lost a loved one, unfortunately, to gun violence. If you can, pray for that, that mother. You know what I mean? Pray for that young man's family, because that's rough, man. The young brother, man. 26 is young. 26 is really young. Man. All right, let me play this real quick. Oh wait, I gotta share it. My fault. Let me get back to sharing it real quick because it was something he said in there that I wanted to highlight as I go to close out and make the distinction. And if you got questions, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'm gonna go back through and answer them before I close out.
Here's his identification card, his Moorish identification card. He's a sovereign citizen. The Moorish rejects federal, state, and local law. They don't have to obey it. They're extremist. They're anti-government.
So let me get exactly what he said, so I can respond verbatim.
She doesn't know who this Kamak Elbey is, but that's who he goes by now. Here's his identification card, his Moorish identification card. He's a sovereign citizen. The Moorish rejects federal, state, and local law. They don't have to obey it. They're extremist. They're anti-government. They have a potential for violence toward law enforcement.
Got it.
And
okay. So I just wanted to make sure that I was speaking to what the sheriff said specifically. Let me just how do I drop this out of there real quick? There we go. So the sheriff stated that the Moors do not respect local, state, or federal law, that they feel they do not have to obey it, that Moors are extremists and anti-government. And so right here, I want to make a distinction. And I don't place the fault on Sheriff Judd, that good brother, or any of True Science or Artie, Fact or Frauds, Swindle, all of the different people that may be critical and calling all Moors sovereign citizens or Moors in a cult. I don't fault any of them for not being able to distinguish the two. It's on Moorish Americans. It's our fault for not making the distinction crystal clear. There are Moorish Americans who come from the Moorish Science Temple of America, the organization created by Noble Drew Ali, which teaches to obey the law, to respect government, local, state, and federal law. And then you have people and groups and organizations that identify as Moors or Moorish, sometimes even Moorish American or Moorish American nationals. Sometimes, though, these groups, what I'll call them rogue Moorish groups or rogue Moorish organization, sometimes these groups use some of the teachings, some of the information, some of the language from the Moorish Science Temple of America, from Noble Drew Ali. But then they mix in their own sovereign citizen ideology and they present it as if it is all the same thing, or we're all in this together, and it is not the case. So that's a message for all American citizens and for any young Moors or young Moorish Americans, people that are coming into this information and are a bit unclear. I want to be crystal clear. If you see people echoing things like all rights reserves, you can right to travel, you don't need a license, you don't need a gun license or to register your weapons, that you can take people's, take over a home without paying for it, and you just put up your notice, that you can challenge the jurisdiction, that the government doesn't have any authority because it's a what is the phrase? It is a de facto government. If you hear any of these kinds of phrases or ideology, understand that has nothing to do with the Moorish Science Temple of America. It has nothing to do with Noble Drew Ali's teachings. It has nothing to do with being a Moorish American. Unfortunately, there are people. One of the most notable is TARIK Bey, who has been promoting and propagating these sovereign citizen tactics for over 40 years. And it has been mixed in and ingrained into many Moorish Americans and organizations or temples and groups that it's difficult for people to understand the difference. And accountability, taking accountability for Moors, we haven't done as an organization, as the Moorish Science Temple of America, we haven't done enough to make sure that we make it clear that's not the right way to do things. That's not what we're about. This is what we're about. And so Moors out there, we cannot blame others for the confusion. We can't blame others for mislabeling or misunderstanding or misrepresenting or calling us a cult or saying that we're extremists or saying this or saying anything that we are not. We cannot place the blame on anybody else. The blame rests with us. It is solely on us to correct this. It's no one else's obligation, no one else's responsibility. And this is a call, a humble call to those Moorish Americans out there. I don't care if you have a feeling about me. Please look past me. Understand that this is much bigger than any personal gripe you have with me. Please understand that. We have to start representing ourselves the correct way. The young man was 26 years old. He's no longer here. His mother is affected. His family's affected. Those sheriffs are affected. They had people that were on duty training with them. So now those people that may have been coming into law enforcement, righteous and really about justice, now think about how they're affected by that event. It was a couple of sheriffs. I think one of them had been in law enforcement 26 years. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a game. This is not a joke. This isn't about popularity or fame or likes or subscriptions. This is about real life. Sorry, I don't even know. I kind of lost my train of thought there, man. I was just talking. I guess let me just finish playing this just real quick. Last thing again. Make sure. I think I got everything I needed to, and then I'll close this. Oh, that's what I did want to point out. If you notice, can I zoom in? Can you guys see this? You know, I want to be respectful to the brother who's no longer here and his family. This is in no means disrespect to that brother. You know, I mean, this is more about the accountability on those that are older and that know better. You know, if we were doing what we were supposed to, we could have made it clear to everyone that identification cards like this are not valid. This is not what Moorish Americans do. This is not what Moors need to be about. I mean, and you can see, for those who may not be aware, there's certain things about this card that stand out that lets uh, true Moorish Americans know this doesn't have anything to do with Noble Drew Ali, for one, or the Moorish Science Temple of America. For one, this is claiming to be Moor's divine movement, a Maxim America. Noble Drew Ali never created that. This race, Yahudim Moor, I don't know what that is, but Noble Drew Ali never spoke about that. Um, the idea of this as an identification card. Noble Drew Ali never created anything like that because the organization wasn't intended to be some own separate nation that's in competition or against the United States of America. The Moorish Science Temple of America is simply an organization, a religious organization, to teach so-called Black people, so-called African Americans, about our history, our heritage, our religion that was taken from our ancestors through the process of enslavement, and also to teach us things to make us better citizens of the United States of America. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the last thing I answer any questions. I think the one thing I wanted to do was highlight an example of what Noble Drew Ali said, because I can speak about, oh, Noble Drew Ali wasn't about the sovereign citizen kind of ideology and tactics that you may see Tariq Bey pushing, and the Enforce the Constitution group and the Rise of the Moors group, those different kinds of groups. Um, but I want to show you the teaching so that you can see for yourself uh, in plain English, you know, uh, what Noble Drew Ali was about. But any other questions before I get up out of here, please let me know. Drop them in the chat. I'm going to go back through and answer them once I highlight this here. Let's see. And what I'm going to be showing you is well, I'll get the link first. So you can follow along. I'm dropping it in the chat. This is a link to what is called or referred to as Moorish literature. These are writings that are outside of the Circle 7 Quran or the Moorish questions or the questions for Moorish Americans, which are the typical readings, pamphlets that are given to Moorish Americans. This has more information that isn't typically highlighted um, by many of the Moors that you may see, the Moor sovereign citizens. They don't ever highlight this information because it exposes that what they're teaching is a scam. You won't see Tariq Bey highlighting this information because it exposes that everything he's teaching about is a lie. It didn't come from Noble Drew Ali. It's not what Noble Drew Ali was about. And so they avoid this. But I want to show this just so that you can see. This example here is Noble Drew Ali making a plea to the nation, speaking about the great God alone, God Allah alone that guides the destiny of the movement. I know all true American citizens are identified by national descent names and answer and apply to the free national constitution of this free national republic of the United States of America. That's why I'm calling on all true national citizens to help me morally and financially in my great work. I am doing to help this national government. This is just one small example. I'm going to go through some examples of him highlighting his respect for the government. This isn't, Noble Drew Ali was not about some overthrowing the government or being radical towards the government or extremist or challenging the authority or challenging the jurisdiction. None of that. This section here is a divine warning by the prophet for the nations. Speaks at the top. He was warned. Noble Drew Ali was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to the state of mind, to their forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders. That's up here. I don't know if you can see that. Can y'all see that? I was reading this right here. Okay. So this is just one example, him speaking about us being law abiders. Okay. But then further down, then it speaks here about how we can be like other citizens and cast our free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government. So now we're speaking about state government. And mind you, this was in the 1920s, so this is before the civil rights. So we're talking about voting issues for so-called Negroes or so-called Black people. But further on, I wanted to highlight this whole paragraph right here. I think this sums it up. You who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people, go to those that know law in the city hall and among the officials in your government and ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will be glad to render you a favorable reply. Now, I just want to I'm going to stop right there and highlight that Noble Drew Ali is saying if you doubt whether his principles are right, go to those that know law in the city hall. Again, showing the respect not just for federal law, not just for state law, but local law. Okay? The officials in the government, not Tariq Bey on YouTube or the super ultra grand sheik of the Moorish Empire of Amexem. No. Go to people that know law, officials in government, and ask them the questions under an intelligent tone. Then further on, it says, I'm hereby calling on all true citizens to stand for a national free government and the national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of the government. He's clearly saying, very clearly, that Moorish Americans, we've fallen from the law, from the constitutional laws of government. We need help to get us back right. I'm depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate, and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national constitution of the United States of America. The our bringing us in with all American citizens, not just some idea of Moorish America and just speaking about Moorish Americans. There was one last thing that I wanted to highlight and then get up out of here. What was it? Let me see if I can find it. Maybe not. Oh, that's what it was. I was looking up the purpose for the Moorish Science Temple of America to make us better citizens. There we go. Here we go. Can y'all see that? This is from the writing called Moorish Leaders' Historical Message to America. We organized the Moorish Temple of Science in 1925. Were legally incorporated as a civic organization under the laws of the state of Illinois. Again, respecting state law, November 29th, 1926, the name Moorish Temple of Science changed to Moorish Science Temple of America, 1928, in accordance with the legal requirements of the Secretary of the State of Illinois. The object of our organization is to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity and to teach those things necessary to make our members better citizens. That's what this organization is about. To help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity and to teach those things necessary to make members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, to make Moorish Americans better citizens. That's what the whole Moorish movement is about. So if you see anybody speaking against that, if you see people arguing against that, speaking about being sovereign citizens, speaking about not respecting the law or respecting government, understand that they are a rogue group or a rogue individual. They're not following the teachings or the principles or the goals or the wishes or the vision of Noble Drew Ali whatsoever. And we have to make that clear. You know, we being Moorish Americans, true Moorish Americans. Okay. All right. One second. All right. Any questions? Any questions? Let me go. Sheesh. I appreciate the people listening. Thank you. I kind of was locked in. I did not realize how many comments there was. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Let me scroll up. Okay. So I seen a couple of these. I'ma just shout out the people that's watching. Blade Brown, Fluid Exotics, New More Order, Butcher Bird, Mo L. Appreciate it. Okang Muhammad L. It's clear the sheriff is very incompetent when it comes to speaking on Moors. See, that's no. If there's any issue with the sheriff's competence, then it stems from how we represent ourselves or have allowed ourselves to be misrepresented. Yeah. Yeah. I just highlight this real quick. Joaquin Bey, never belligerent dash force the Constitution. See, if you hear a Moor or a person identifying as Moorish and they're saying about how Moors need to enforce the Constitution or using rhetoric like that, that's an indication that they're a part of propagating or believing that Moorish sovereign citizen ideology. That's where it comes from. That idea that Moors enforce the Constitution comes from Taj Tariq Bey and his scam. You know, and it's been going for 40 years. I did a bunch of videos about that. But that's just an example of how other people will continue to echo that same those same ideologies. Let's go. Yeah, New More Order. I predict this would happen when them clowns started wearing camouflage and guns, talking like there's Malcolm X on YouTube. Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know. In fact, it's reported that Noble Drew Ali stated for Moorish Americans to not even carry a pocket knife. So the idea that Moors should be armed with AR-15s and assault weapons and shotguns and all of this military weaponry, again, is just another example of going against, like legitimately directly against what Noble Drew Ali was about. Yeah, it is important to note if you see a person identifying as Moorish and they have El Bay in their name, it's usually an indicator that they are associated with some sort of rogue Moorish organization or group. CM said FTP. No, no, we've grown past that mentality. You know. See, and then Joaquin Bey followed up because I said, please don't promote that sovereign citizen ideology. And, oftentimes when you hear them say that enforce the Constitution, they'll just repeat that line as if that makes it valid, but it does not. It's the Taj Doctrine. Jonathan Scott Bay, this propaganda against our people real. I don't know what you mean, Jonathan Scott Bay, or which propaganda you're referring to. If you are speaking about what the sheriff presented, he was providing the evidence, the information. Um, you know, the propaganda stems again from these rogue Moorish organizations like Taj Bay, like RV Bay Publications, who's responsible for many of those identification, Moorish national identification cards, which really makes no sense because they're a publication company. So how would a publication company be in charge of printing government IDs for an entire nation of people? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? But it's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay to admit that you were mistaken, that you had been fooled, that you didn't realize, you didn't really even think of it like that. It's all right that we make mistakes, but we have to correct our mistakes. Yeah, I don't know about that. All Lee Bay says all world governments are religious corporations. Respect to your opinion. Yeah, there's an issue with a lot of fraudulent people identifying as grand sheiks or some sort of position of authority or uh, some sort of official position within the Moorish movement or Moorish organizations, but oftentimes they're self-proclaimed and they aren't really valid or legitimate at all. Yeah, Blade Brown says that's the thing. The sheiks don't usually get caught. It be the followers. That's something to pay attention as we close out. If you notice, and this is for Moors specifically that follow people like Taj Bay. If you notice in situations like this, or RV Bay Publications, or whatever rogue Moorish group you're a part of, if you notice the people that claim to be the group in Canada, USAR, AMPAC, I think. I just don't want to make it seem like I'm being personal. This applies to any rogue Moorish group. If you notice, the main people that are often preaching and propagating the message, they're nowhere to be found when their followers or supporters or members of their group, they're nowhere to be found, the leaders, when the members and the followers get in trouble. And you just need to be mindful of that. You know what I mean? If you're one of those people that are caught up in these groups, you know what I mean, just think about it. Take a step back. Think about it for yourself. Peace, facts, or frauds. Peace, peace, peace. All right, this is a sign it's time for me to get up out of here. Point Blank Opinion says, why are you telling everyone to go along with the fraud? The fact that you use the ignorant term sovereign citizen shows those of us that know how unlearned you are and what you don't know, period. if you feel that way, point blank, you feel that way. My focus is not to try to prove to you my intelligence or what I know or debate. I am focused on preventing situations like this from happening any further. I don't want a mother or a father to lose their son or their daughter. I didn't mention Corinne Gaines, who was murdered in a, or killed in a similar situation, following the teaching, these Moorish sovereign citizen teachings that Taj put out there. I don't want to see some older folks old enough to be my uncle or my dad getting shot by people claiming to be Moors because they're following this nonsense. So my focus, point blank, isn't to impress you, but I appreciate you sharing your opinion. Oh, so you got a whole bunch of these. All right, real quick, because I do need to go. But point blank opinions. Rather than me read, because I see you got a bunch of messages. Do you have time to speak live and express yourself real quick? You claiming you faced him in court, all of that. Do you have time to speak live? If so, then I'll drop the link and you can speak and we can speak directly and we can get some clarification on this. Real quick, is there any updates on Jamal's case? Yes, I need to make a video. My apologies. I'm running this youth suicide prevention program, so that's taking up a lot of my time and some other things that I'm working on. But that's excuses. My apologies. I'm gonna get on it, and I'll put an update out there soon. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fallback Digital, why they shoot him for? Fallback Digital, unfortunately, the sheriffs returned fire after this young man shot and injured two of the sheriffs. So they were defending themselves. Not in the I'm not saying that in the with satire. What's the word? Any patronizing way. I mean that literally. Did point blank? I didn't see the message. Did you? Can you speak? Can you speak live? I didn't see it come up. Can you speak live? Point blank. Let me just drop the link real quick. I need. I'm trying to respond, but I need to get out of here and get focused. So let me get to the rest of these. Point blank. If you can, you speak. You come on. Click the link. Come on live. Let's talk directly. If not, I'm gonna just ignore your comments because it just seems like you're trolling now. Dang, I lost my plate. Golly. Come on, man. Now I see why they got the moderators in the chat. And I only got a few people. I can't imagine. Anyways, let me focus. My bad. Where am I at? Dang. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to read. Okay, here we go. Why they shoot them? Facts and frauds. Taj and all those gurus should face the same charges as any of their students face. You guys need to stop throwing other people under the bus. Terry Griffin, peace, sister. If you could explain what you mean by that, if you further clarify. Cameron K, is that Oh, my phone. Is that point blank? Hold on 1 second. Real quick. Hold on, bro. I can't even hear you. 1 second, G. Is this point blank?
Islam, all praise be to Allah and honesty His holy and divine prophet, Noble Ali, may peace be upon him. Understand that honesty is forerunner of the brother man, Marcus God. Islam. Can you hear me more?
Yeah, I got you. Peace.
Ready
I
more?
just make. Yeah, I got you. I'm just making
Damn, I
sure.
can't.
Are you point? You can't hear me?
I can't hear y'all, man. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see what's going on, Muslim. Put this thing in perspective.
Testing. Can you hear me now?
Oh, okay. And I need. Okay, that's.
The headphones?
Islam, Muslim, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. Can you hear me?
All right, Islam, superb,
All right,
man. Damn, man, they be taking a
real
little minute
quick.
more. It's Islam, man. You know, I've been in just watching the Moors, man, from the bird's eye view there, man. But I've been studying Moor science, man, for a long time now. Actually, about 14 years, right? Uh,
Ho-
and I was just seeing the sister
ho- ho-
from the
ho-
RV Bay Publications.
Hold on 1 second, good brother. I just want to make sure are you point blank or are you somebody different?
No. I ain't point blank, man. I'm Kyle. I'm on there as ADA Web, ADA and WCAG compliance, man. You'll see a little blue A on there, right? I was in
Okay.
your last meeting,
Okay.
but I just wanted to point some out, man. Real important, man. On just how the prophet, may peace be upon him, set the temple up, right? Because most people on the world what he was talking about because they don't have uh, a intricate understanding of the 14th and 15th Amendments, the First Amendment, a religious body politic, right? Uh, so the sister, I can't think of her name right now. The ones that run the RV Bay publication website. Uh, I know you've been doing some dissertations on the brother uh Taj Tariq Bay. And just how he been pretty much setting more up because this is really what this is about, right? It's a domino effect from from him using that information off of that website, correct?
They work together. They're in tandem. They started out working
Yeah,
together.
yeah. Islam. But the brother, the fellow Moor being shot is a direct, uh, that's a direct result of his understanding of the information he got off of that website, right?
I don't want to say 100% sure, but the principles behind it that comes from Taj Tariq Bay, RV Bay publication. I can't say for certain that ID card that he got came from RV Bay, but the idea, the template, that whole play came from that.
Yeah, the whole concept. Actually, man, I was doing actually, I'm in touch with a few Moors, man, a few sheiks, man, that's been in the game as well for a little while. Uh, and they was actually, they actually, know the brother pretty well, actually. The brother Taj Tariq Bey, someone was telling me that he was actually, working for the Homeland, or the Department of Homeland Security for a while, right? And just the whole propaganda of him trying to, put certain information out there that's basically considering us having the system to consider us as paper terrorists. That's for them to weed out the individuals, who they considering to be paper terrorists, because we've been on the watch list since J. Edgar Hoover, right? We're
Well,
considered black nationalists, black nationalist groups.
hold on, G. I appreciate your perspective, and I would like to build with you. But I'm a little pressed for time, and I wanted to speak directly to this point blank opinions person, specifically because of some of the things he was saying. But I don't want to just cut you right there. So, is there anything you just like in summary, you know what I mean, you want to like drive home with your point that you wanted to express.
Oh yeah, it's Islam or Islam. I ain't gonna hold you. But as far as what the brother point blank did he what did he touch on real fast that you wanted to hit?
Man, it's a whole lot of nonsense, bro. To be honest, it's been about like 30,
Yeah,
40
and so that's
messages.
that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to clear up the nonsense, right? This like for real. Listen, brother, I'm trying to tell you, I got 14 years of Moorish science, Moorish history, Moorish study, and Moorish law, right? To clear up a lot of the rhetoric. It's behind the fact that these brothers don't know how the temple is set up. That's the whole thing about it. They don't know how the temple is set up, right? They don't know how the temple is set up because they don't know how the United States is set up. And I'm not talking corporate fictions. I'm not talking about straw man. I'm not talking about, you know, this, that, and the third, bruh. I'm talking about the fact that the Moorish Science Temple of America is a state. It's
Okay.
a state within itself.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna just stop you right there. We could get into that conversation. Matter of fact, I'm gonna write this down.
Hey,
More science. Hold on 1 second. More Science Temple of America, a state or an organization. All right. I'm gonna make a separate video live thing probably Sunday. I'm gonna do it for Sunday. Tap
it's
in with me on Sunday. Let's have that discussion then. Is that
all
fair?
right. All right, Islam, boy,
I
Islam, all the
I
way.
I appreciate it, good brother.
Peace, peace.
Peace. All right. So let me finish up, man, because gonna be breath for time. I'm supposed to get my run in. This is more important. Let me help myself. This is more important. But point blank, man. Hold on. See, because I got distracted. Point blank. Let me drop this link. I'm gonna give you. You see, I see you responding to other people in the chat, so you see what's going on, man. Real quick. There's the link. Point blank. Either click the link and come on and speak directly like the good brother Cameron did, or I'm gonna go ahead and have to put you on a timeout because you just trolling and this is serious. That this is the point I'm getting to is individuals like this just playing games and thinking this is a joke. It's not a joke. Let me where was I? Let me highlight. I'm gonna just highlight if I can some key ones. I was trying to go through all of them, but it's gonna be too many to go through all of them. We already at an hour over an hour. Oh man, who is this? Okay, you point blank, or Ome Bay. Either of you, I'm gonna give you 2 seconds to or 2 minutes to click the link so we can, communicate face to face. Otherwise, I'm gonna just go ahead and mute you because I'm seeing all this nonsense in here. I apologize that I didn't see it earlier, y'all. Yeah, man, it's like honestly, I'm doing my I'm trying. I'm working on humbling myself and not getting too frustrated. But it's honestly a little frustrating because this isn't a game. This young man lost his life, so it's not something to play with. Um. Oh, okay. Okay. You muted, bruh.
Oh, my bad. Peace, peace, peace.
So
Islam.
so what's going on, man? Peace. What's going on, man?
I don't know. You got any questions? You got any questions to
Yeah,
ask?
yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering why you're
I
pushing
already,
the
I already put what I put in the chat.
right.
Right. Yeah.
For example, your behavior against Moors here in America is evident. What behavior?
Right. Well, I mean, you've been slandering a lot of people.
What slander? And what people?
Well, I mean, you have videos where you're doing what do they call that? Like reviewing videos. You're talking about people's personal cases, even though it's public domain. They put themselves in the public. It's like this. Look, it's like this. Even with the brother, all peace and love to his family. It is messed up that we lost another brother out in the streets. Now,
Hold on. Before we get to that,
well, hold on, no, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Slander.
Well, hold on. We're gonna get to that. I wanna cover up a couple things.
But
when you're dealing with these so-called de facto law enforcement.
No.
The ID. Hold on, the ID. You brought up the ID.
Sir. Hold on 1 second. 1 second, sir. I don't have a problem.
Why do you do that? You do that to everybody that comes on here, bro. You ask me how you're slandering people. You're talking about people who don't want you to be talking about them in the first place. These people don't want you to be talking about them. Cosmo L, Taj Tariq, Sabir Bey, Cujo L. There's a lot of people that you have been slandering. You and Taharka Bey have been doing this.
Again.
You and Cujo L and Taharka Bey have been doing this. Now there are brothers in China.
Sir.
That don't hold on. There are brothers in China that don't do that to us over here. Why would
Sir? Just be clear.
You just asked me why I'm saying that your behavior is against your own people.
Stop.
I don't have to stop, bro. You don't have power over me, my G. Come on now. Let's be men about this. Period, point blank. Let's be men about this. Don't get emotional. Let's be men about this.
Express yourself, bro.
No, I'm saying don't get emotional about this.
Express yourself. I mean? I'm listening.
Just be cognizant of how you're behaving.
Express
now,
yourself.
one of the main principles is to love. How could you be loving if you're not going directly to these people and hitting them in their inbox and talking to them just like this? Why not call them out? Why do you have to make a review video and defame people? Why do you have to do that? Now I'm coming to you as a man and I'm asking you, why do you have to do that to my people? These are people I have contact with. These are my brothers. These are my sisters. These are my people. Now, if I have a problem with them, I'm going to go face to face just like this. Even though we ain't right here in the flesh, we still able to see each other face to face. This is how men conduct themselves. There's no need for you to do a whole video and talk about, unless you're really going to talk about the situation of what the person individually did wrong. Now, you just said they shot at the police. Why did they do that? Why would anybody do that? If you shoot at a police officer, you think they're not going to shoot back and kill you? Some of the things you say are not logical. They're just not logical. And you're defaming people. You talk about Taj Tariq Bey. Why don't you have a sit down with Taj and talk to him yourself instead of putting this information out there so everybody can see how we treat each other? How you're treating me right now is you're showing other people how to treat you and me is what you're doing. Whether you're cognizant of that or not. I get that another dark, carbonated, melanated, ethereal human being was taken from us. What did they do wrong? We have to take responsibility. There's no victims. If you're holding a gun and they come and ask you about the gun and they're asking you why you holding the gun and you pull out this identification card that ain't got nothing to do with anything and they test you on it, you're going to get tested. Just like right now, you're getting tested. You're being tested. You know what I mean? Your body language, your facial expressions, that's still language. You're still communicating with me without verbally saying anything. You're showing your emotions. You're wearing your emotions on your sleeve. You don't need to do that with me, man. We're men. If we were in the same room, just like when you and that brother Merk L caught Sabir Bey and did a mock interview with him, you guys made a mockery about him after that. Why do y'all do that? And then when you guys get disciplined, like Merk L got disciplined for cussing out our sisters, right? What happened to Merk L? It can happen to you, bro. Same thing can happen to you because you slandering people that move in the private and you're doing this in public. You're showing people how to treat us when you're slandering your brothers and your sisters. Instead of coming at them directly and saying, hey, you know, can you explain to me why this is happening? Why don't you go check those police in that county, in that municipality, instead of getting on here making a video defaming your own brothers and sisters? Why would you do that?
Are you done?
I'm asking you a question.
You asked me several questions.
Right. No, it's the same question.
It's
Why do
not.
you make a mockery of Moors with that fez on your head?
That's not the same question that you just asked.
I'm asking you, why are you defaming our people, our Moroccan people, our Moroccan people? Why are you doing that? You're not Mexican. You're not Apache. You're not Washita.
All right, man.
Are you Washita? Because
All
I
right.
am.
That's
Are you a Taino? Are you a Taino? Are you any kind of tribal? Because I know for sure that Noble Drew Ali was the Prince of Washita, the Dugdamania Imperial people. And we are a part of that over here from the West.
All right.
So with that being said,
bruh,
Noble Drew Ali is my direct descendant, bro. I'm a descendant of the same people.
That's great, bro. Can I speak now? I've been doing my best to be patient and quiet. You've asked me about 30 different questions, bro.
Drop your balls. Let me see what you got. Drop your balls. Let me see what you got. You a man, right?
Bruh. All right.
You a man, right? Let me see what you got. And then you're probably gonna go make a video and chop this up like you do everybody else that you do this to.
Bruh, can I please speak without you interrupting, man?
Ashe.
I brought up your comment. It says your behavior against Moors here in America is evident. I asked you what behavior. You said
I just told you, bro. So if I go to your YouTube, look at how you make. Come on, look at how you. Obviously, you were raised by women, because not once, even when I said salam, you never said peace back. When I said peace and love, and I said all that, you never said it back. And one of the first rules in conduct when we come across each other is to greet each other with peace.
I'm doing my
You didn't
best.
even do that. Look at how you're acting. You act like a bitch. Straight up. Like, for real, are you on your rag or something? Stop acting like a pussy, bro. Like I said, next time I see a video like this.
Now you see, I was doing my best to avoid doing that. I mean, I said it all, man. I'm not even going. I should have cut it off sooner. My apologies. Let me finish up. I gotta go. Any other questions regarding the actual topic at hand? Wow. Apologize. Let me just keep my opinion to myself. Let's see. You know, scroll. Yeah, I should have known better. Yeah. All righty. Noble Drew Ali didn't approve of you fake Moors/Moorish sovereign citizens. Yeah, shout out to Omay Bay. It's the person I was dealing with. I just boy. Hope you learn your lesson, Ronnie. Talk about going live. Boy. Peace, Moors in America. They do not see it or care what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali established. They do not follow his laws. They just want to be lawless and ignorant. Shout out to Moors in America. To that point, that is something that's easy to distinguish. You'll be able to clearly distinguish a rogue Moorish organization or group or individual because they won't even follow the laws for the organization that Noble Drew Ali set up. Never mind local, state, or federal laws. They don't even follow the laws for our own organization. So that's a glaring red flag. Side note, I was holding this, but I just gotta keep it real. I'm live. It was a red flag when my man didn't have a shirt on. And I started to say, bro, put a shirt on before I put you on the screen. But I ain't want to be judgmental, you know what I mean? But from that, I was like, what, anyways, let me focus, man. I gotta get out of here. It's 2:30 anyway. What kind of nonsense, man? What world am I in? I apologize. I know I'm live and I should pause it, but I'm just tripping about what transpired. Unbelievable, man. You try to ask people, and that's part of the reason why I ask people to come so I can speak to them face to face. Is because when you start asking specific questions, you notice that people just talk in circles. All right. Last thoughts, closing thoughts. Moors in America, shout out. If you did not follow Prophet Noble Drew Ali's laws, and I respect you as a Moor one time. Yeah, let me go ahead. Let me put that dude on. I put that dude on timeout. He definitely putting Mr. Pause on timeout. Ugh, what in the world? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I asked for him to click the link. Boy, be careful what you ask for. That's the lesson here today, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful what you ask for. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, we had some jokes. Red fish, white fish, yellow fish, blue fish. All right, all right. Yeah, yeah. Very true, man. Very true. Very true. All right, we closing out. Let me get my thoughts together as I close out. Oh, love, man. I appreciate you folks, man. I had these comments, man, that probably would have got under my skin a little bit more, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Laughter is good for the soul. Hey, yo, bro. Put a shirt on, bro. Rick Ross, bruh. Comedy, bruh. Oh, the feeling is euphoric. You know what I mean? Alright. Yeah, right. Yeah, see, those people those rogue Moorish individuals, they'll always say, "Where's the victim? There's no victim, there's no crime." Nonsense. But yeah, see, I was trying, Nate. I was trying. Oh wow. Taj made up the Washita stuff? I got it. I gotta. Oh man. Wow. Boy, let me go ahead. Let me close out, man. The comedy is it's comedy hour towards the end. I appreciate other people seeing it, man. I appreciate other people seeing it. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I think I see. Man, people get really upset about the fact that I have Martin Luther King as a picture up there. That's like a real trip to me. Uh, but it's all love. You know what I mean? It's all love. Fluffers. Yeah. Yeah. And I got to do better. Moors in America said excuse me, when this type of topic is discussed, it's going to get ignorant. This is lowbrow stuff that brings out all the knuckle draggers. I don't really want to call people names, but I definitely understand, and I do need to. I don't know. I gotta set the foundation a little bit better, so when I bring folks in, we can have a more structured conversation. Cause crazy, crazy. Dang, butcher bird even. You know what I mean? uh, man. All right, that about sums it up. Oh, okay, boom. As I close out, Teray, I'm not sure if it's Teray Griffin or Terry Griffin. Apologies if I mispronounce it. Uh, but Miss Griffin says you should have a one-on-one discussion with Taj Tariq Bey. Let me keep that up there. I appreciate the sentiments. I appreciate the perspective. The truth is, Miss Griffin, is that Taj Tariq Bey has been manipulating, scamming, exploiting the people for longer than I've been alive, over 40 years now. He has no intention on having a conversation, a one-on-one conversation, or him and his people have a conversation with me. It didn't matter if it was him and myself or his whole crew and myself. Um, and the reason for that is because that conversation would expose him for the fraudulent scammer that he is. And, you know, he's making a lot of money and has made a lot of money exploiting people. So that won't happen. But I appreciate the sentiment. Um, as I close out, Oh, I see. I think this person is from. Let me keep that to myself. As I close out. Uh-oh. The overall point, let me hurry up. I think somebody calling me. The overall point that I wanted to say is that for everybody watching, generally speaking, um, there unfortunately is a lot of confusion. There is the Moorish Science Temple of America and Moorish Americans who respect the law, respect authority, respect government, are American citizens like German Americans, Japanese Americans, um, Polish Americans, Yemen Americans, or Yemeni Americans, whoever. We're all American citizens. And then there's groups and organizations and individuals that are rogue and that push this more sovereign citizen ideology. Um, there are some of us that are true Moorish Americans that are doing our best to distinguish the difference between the two. But I hope if you watch this, it's provided some information and a real life example of the difference between a Moorish American and a rogue Moorish individual like Ome Bey or Taj Tariq Bey is another. RV Bay Publications is a organization, another one. For the Moors that are watching this, for Moorish Americans that are watching this, it is your responsibility to make sure that we clarify and distinguish ourselves from the nonsense and the lies and the sovereign citizen ideology. Um, Please do not follow, do not practice, do not propagate, do not promote, do not associate with people that are pushing that sovereign citizen ideology. Driving without a license, not respecting authority, challenging the jurisdiction, all rights reserved, UCC dash, blah, 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 blah. Squatting and taking homes and claiming it's yours, traveling with guns and feeling like you don't need a license. Any of those kinds of things that you may see Taj Street Bay, RV Bay Publications, and other, or Force the Constitution, other road groups, do not follow them. You do not want to get yourself or your family or others in danger, possibly harmed or killed. Um, yeah, Sunday. Yeah. Thank you, Ashley. Digital Sunday. Um, I think that's it. Yeah, I ain't got much more to say. I appreciate lastly, I appreciate everybody that has tuned in and watched in the comments, and even the people that were talking the nonsense. I appreciate you as well, because at least it helped to showcase the difference and help to show people to distinguish the difference between the two. So thank you. Again, prayers and condolences to the family of Kyron Caples, I believe. I apologize. Or K Mac El Bay, to his mother and his family. Condolences, prayers, and speedy recovery to the officers that were injured and to their families. Uh, Prayers to all of us, because it's a crazy time. Yeah, and that's it. Love is the key. Love is the way. Much love to you and yours. Please do not follow these rogue Moorish groups and organizations, and all of these nonsense people. Stick to Noble Drew Ali if you're more Moorish American. The Moorish Science Temple of America, Moorish Americans. Let's all have a great day. All right. Much love. Peace.